time for our weekly reading. So the way I do it, I got this from Daily Tarot Girl. Her name is Kate. She's got an awesome YouTube channel, so this is not my original spread, it's hers, but I really like it. So we have a situation card that just kind of describes our situation for the week, and just remember that I speak generally, so it can apply to anything. So you need to use your own intuition as well to figure out what aspect of the card, like what area in your life it's applying to. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's career, maybe it's creative project, maybe it's your health or finances. So you will know, just trust that you'll know what it applies to. And then we have a challenge card, so that's going to be what is challenging us this week in terms of our situation and what's going to help us. So I feel like we get this card so much, or maybe I do because I also do personal draws for myself every day. But our situation this week is the King of Wands. So this speaks to me of leadership, our leadership ability in some way, of stepping up. Oh my gosh, I swear, I feel like I'd have to look back at the videos if it was last week or the week before that we had this card. And it might have been the Helper card, actually, instead of the situation. But either way, there's something that you're being called to really step up into your leadership role. And that doesn't necessarily mean, as I'm thinking about this, it doesn't necessarily mean being a leader to other people per se, but that you are in a situation where you're tapping into your own personal power, your own courage and bravery about something. So it might be something that you need to be more of a leader for yourself to go after something in some way. In the King of Wands, Wands is that really fiery energy, bravery, courage, charisma. So it's like a fire and earth element. That's what's on the card up here, a fire and an earth symbol. So you're just being called to step up in some way. Maybe you're being called to step up at work, or in a relationship, or in a parenting situation, or in a creative project, or maybe for your own health, your finances, whatever it is. So what's going to kind of hurt, or not hurt, but challenge you, get in the way of you stepping into this position for yourself this week, of being able to be courageous and step up and do the things that you need to do for yourself, is the Two of Cups. And this is so interesting to me because the Two of Cups is usually about a relationship, and it doesn't have to be romantic, although it can be. A lot of people will read it and interpret that way, especially because it's Venus in Cancer. But it's a two. So a two is really a beginning sort of card. So you'd have your wand is, not your wand, your ace is the first, and all the way up to a 10 completion. So two is still pretty early on. So there's a new beginning, or a newness to an intimacy. This isn't a relationship or a person or a situation that you've known for a long time. But twos are also about balance. So what can be hard for you to step up into a leadership position this week is how you are allowing yourself to be perceived by other people, whether it's someone that you want to impress, or someone that you are in a new relationship with, or just something it's not as familiar. So maybe it is someone that you've known for a really long time, but the situation that you're dealing with them right now might be in the earlier stages, if that makes sense. I don't feel like I'm really explaining that well, but either way, you want to avoid letting other people's perceptions of you get in the way of you being able to step into this leadership position. So you don't want to care overly about impressing other people, having people think well of you, or even going along with other people's ideas in order to have people think well of you. Yes, being a leader is about listening to other people, sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean being so passive that you let other people dictate things. So that's sort of the challenge this week. There's something around the balance between what you want and what other people want. And it might not be the same thing, so you don't want to just acquiesce to what other people want automatically. And just because you're stepping into your own power, you have to trust that people are still going to value you and care about you and still like you. If they're meant to be in your life anyway, even if they don't agree with you, with whatever you're doing this week. So if someone's going to completely invalidate you and make you question yourself, or turn around and not go after what it is that you want, or not step up in the way you need to, you have to kind of question that. So that's going to be a challenge this week. And that makes a lot of sense when we come to what's going to help this week. So we have the Six of Pentacles. And it's so funny because there's an intimacy to this card, but there's also an intimacy to this card. And this is the moon in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So we have two cards that have a similar vibe, except Cups is more emotional. It's more about feelings, and that's why I think the real challenge here is about balancing out maybe your fears or your emotions around how you're going to be perceived by another person. But what will help is Pentacles are more of an earthy card. It's a lot more about physical manifestation and taking action. And with Taurus, it would be slow and steady action. But this is Six of Pentacles. If you can really look closely at the card, you'll see two people here, and there's a figure in the middle with a balance scales, like in the Justice card, and they're giving money to someone else. So this card is all about receiving and giving. So what's going to help you this week is really to kind of get honest with yourself about where are you possibly giving too much of yourself. Maybe you're giving too much to someone else and not taking care of your own needs, or maybe you have needs and you're not fulfilling them because you are either giving too much to someone else, or you're afraid of what they'll think of you. Maybe you don't want to be perceived as selfish. So you want to think about where you are not receiving, where you're giving too much. But you could also look at maybe where you do need to give to other people. Are you maybe in this card here, you are receiving too much emotional validation from someone, or needing that, and that feels really important to you, that it's getting in the way of you being your own leader and stepping up for yourself. So this is asking you to look at that, like, are you taking too much in the sense of emotional validation when you need to actually be giving more of yourself, maybe giving more of yourself to other people, to a situation, or to others, instead of just being on the receiving end, being the recipient of other people always doing things for you, or helping you, or listening to you. So it does feel like the vibe is much more emotional in nature, and definitely more about relationships and people and community than our previous readings, because I feel like in the past our readings have been more about the individual, but this, especially with twos, and twos are all about balance, and then we see the scales in this card, it's balancing your needs with the needs of other people. It's balancing your own emotions and thoughts and feelings about situations versus someone else's. So you're really being asked to kind of find that sweet spot this week, because at the end of the day, the goal is for you to be brave and courageous and step up where you know that you really need to, and not stressing so much about what other people think, because the people who really love you are going to support you, and they'll be there for you even if you mess up, even if you get it wrong. So that's okay. You just don't let that fear get in the way, And the best way to do that is just to really sit with yourself while you're taking steps and small, steady actions towards what you want, and thinking about, where am I giving too much to other people, or maybe to things that I shouldn't be right now, and where do I need to receive a little bit more from other people and get that support and ask for it, or where am I being overly needy and seeking out too much validation and emotional support from others, when I really just need to be trusting that I can do it, and giving to others and being more of a leader to other people. So I hope that helps. I hope I explained that okay. Sometimes with my ADHD, I get really excited about the ideas that are coming to me, and I know I can talk really fast, and it makes sense to me when I'm saying it, but I don't know if it always makes sense. So please make sure to let me know in the comments of what you thought of this reading. Make sure to come back to the stream next week and let me know how your week went, because I love knowing that, and I hope you have an awesome week.